Hey everybody, welcome to T&K Visser Farms. We're doing it. I just sprayed out my first load of chemical in a egg sprayer ever. And I'm just, oh boy. Whee! So now I ran out. So now I need to go back to the farm and refill. I need to work on a chemical trailer or tender trailer or something for next year. You know, everything I have is close enough that it's not a huge deal to run back and forth, but you know, it just takes time. So, and right now time is not necessarily on my side. But we're getting chemical put down. There's chemical coming out of the boom. That makes me happy. Like I said, first time I've ever sprayed with a, you know, in a field with a sprayer. First time ever. So, I mean, that first round went pretty good. Auto steer worked really good. 40-ish acres, probably more like 45, 50. I'd say probably leaning on 50. I figured one tank load would do 50 acres. And I have a little bit left in the tank. So, you know, that's pretty close to 50 acres. But I'm gonna go home and reload. I was hoping to see some death already, but I don't see them. That's okay. It might take a day or two. Hopefully it starts though. Hopefully it dies. Because I'm going to do a lot of spraying in a short period of time, and it's going to be a subpar job, but hopefully, just hopefully. Just getting out of the field here. One thing I really want to do is work on an approach for this field this fall. Because this is, you know, I'm outgrowing the approaches on this field very fast. Like the sprayer barely fits in here. It fits, but it barely fits. And there's an approach right here, but I don't like using it because it's kind of iffy. It's really steep. So I want to rip that approach out and oh no, there we go. Switch her to the bunny mode, shut off the boom power, and we're off like a rocket ship. Whee! So yeah, so now I'm gonna refill, I'm gonna finish that field, and I'm gonna do that field quick. And that should give me 40-ish acres. And then we're gonna head over to the Purcell quarter here. I have 70-ish acres of beans there. It's a good time. It's a really good time. So that will put me at, well, getting these two done would give me 100 acres. And we'll see what time I get this one done tonight, because I'd like to start down there. Not saying it's gonna happen, but I'd like to. But you know, everything kind of has to fall into favor. But right now, I mean, it's going. I think it's going as good as it can go, honestly. But yeah, we are getting stuff going. We're gonna finish spraying, if not tonight, tomorrow morning. And then I gotta head up to International Falls by myself with a couple of dogs. Yeah, be a good time. That'll be fun. But anyway, I'll be back I'll come back when I'm at the refill station. Things are going pretty good. It's a little softer out here than I thought, but you know, it's go time. It's got to be sprayed. Thinking, yeah, I did not rock roll this field, and I'm finding that has been kind of a challenge when it comes to getting the gator through. Because right now I'm running a 100 RPMs going 7 miles an hour, and it's still, every so often it'll throw the rate will get thrown off. So not a huge deal. It's working, but I think a rock roller is in my future plans, because I rock rolled that field and it went great. This field isn't, it's going good, but it's not great. So, I mean, this is probably one of the cleaner fields I have, to be completely honest. I can still see, you know, weeds out there, but I put a good residual in along with the enlist, and that should she's struggling. Wow. And that should really hold down the fort until we get to harvest. Hold on. Did I say until we get to harvest? I meant until the beans canopy. So, that field should start dying now, hopefully. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be scared. That was my own fault. I should have gotten this ready sooner. It should have been done last week, but I didn't know, I was still doing hay, and I didn't know if I would have this ready by that point in time. So, we got the egg leader working. I have section control. I haven't been very good about using it. Had a couple curves. I didn't, you know, there wasn't, between hitting the master switch, hitting the auto steer switch, slowing down, and sections, it's hard, it's a lot to keep track of. So if I do hang on to this sprayer, I'm planning on putting section control or automatic section control in here. Make life a little bit easier. But we'll see. The beans have to make it to harvest first, or the whole crop has to make it to harvest. But it's going pretty good. Going 7.5 miles an hour. Should have this field done in the next 15-20 minutes, I would think. So I'll update you if anything exciting happens. Just killing some grass and weeds. I ran out. We're gonna call that a night, I think. It's 9:20. I need water. So I'm gonna fill this with what's left in the water truck, and I guess Grandpa's gonna run in the morning and grab water. So that'll be nice. I was just gonna run in and do it, but he said he'd run in and grab it if I just emptied the truck. So I won't argue. But that was a good day. I think I started at 7 or 8 o'clock. No, it wouldn't have been that late. What time was it? But anyway, I started pretty late in the day because I didn't get off work till 3 o'clock, and then I had to do some stuff at home. And I think it was 5 or 6 o'clock when I started mixing chemical, and I think it was 7 o'clock when I finally got spraying. But it needs to be sprayed. Wow, does it need to be sprayed. I don't know what it was about this year, but the weeds just came full force. I definitely believe next year we will be using a pre-emerge herbicide after the beans are planted to get some more time, because this is just terrible. And the beans underneath are absolutely gorgeous, but this is just something awful. Wow. And the beans over there were full of weeds. Got those sprayed, so hopefully those start dying tomorrow. Hopefully you can see them wilt. It's always fun to see when they wilt. But I'm just headed back to the farm, and I'm going to blast the last 400 gallons of water into the sprayer. And yeah, wait till tomorrow morning and see what that brings. Hopefully we can get done finish spraying the beans, and then looking like I gotta get this puppy cleaned out next week and get ready to do some fungicide on wheat. So that'll be, I mean, I'm looking forward to that a lot more than doing herbicide on beans, because fungicide is so easy. You know, you can overhang and miss and whatever, and it doesn't really matter. But yeah, oh, this is actually good. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be back. Here we are at the water truck. It's a pretty simple, dummy-proof system. even I couldn't screw it up. But anyway. Oh. Just grab this end here. I might be a little too far away. You bet I am. Okay. Scratch that idea. I gotta get closer. Oh, I'm getting tired of climbing stairs and lifting jugs. Okay. Oh yeah. She still leaks. It's a Cummins. It leaks. It just is how it is. That's a wrap. We'll see you tomorrow morning. It's the next day here. I'm just out checking out what I sprayed, and it looks like it's working. And you can see like this. That's what they're supposed to look like. They're not supposed to be alive. So that's nice to see. That's the only reason I'd consider dicamba over Enlist, is because, you know, you barely do your first round and the weeds are tipping over with dicamba. 2,4-D takes a while. It doesn't have as much snort as dicamba does, but it's a slow killer. The thing I'm worried about is this volunteer wheat, foxtail. That's what I'm worried about, because I didn't realize that I had as much out there as I did. Oh, radio. So, might have to make a second pass and use like some Roundup, but we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I'm really hoping not. Ew, I don't know what that kind of bug was. Hopefully it just all dies. I used a high rate of clethodim, and that should take it. But we'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell. Hopefully by the time I get home on Monday, I'll really see it. Or Tuesday, Monday night. Or I'll see some results, hopefully. But you can see them tipping out there, and I like to see that. Should have been sprayed 2 weeks ago, but I just wasn't ready. Wasn't ready. Nervous to run the sprayer, but she works, and we're gonna hope she works again today. So yeah, I'm just on my way to the farm here. I got my coffee and the will to finish. It's a new day. There's no wind. The skies are mostly clear. There's rain in the forecast for tomorrow and Monday. Man, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And the wheat's heading. Yeah, it's heading. It is heading. I'm guessing by... you know what? I might have to hire a plane to spray the fungicide, because we've got like 6 days of rain coming. But, oh yeah, you can see the... Ow! I ran out, and you can see a perfect line where I ran out. So that's good. Chemicals working. But we'll be back in a jiff. Apparently the engine makes a dandy bird's nest. A fresh one too. Ish. Always check your equipment before you take off. Because oh yeah, she's still leaking. Because in about half an hour that would have been a mess. Might not have a sprayer anymore. Alright, just get that cleaned out of there. I found one there yesterday too. I don't know why. On fuel lines. Fuel lines. Oh my goodness. Get all of it out of there. Most of it anyway. Little sticks. Crap. Like, there's stuff in there. Why? Why, man? Alrighty. Give the oil a quick checky check. Needs a little bit of oil. So here's the oil fill. I know it leaks oil. And it doesn't leak oil bad, but it's bad enough. But the bright side is after a couple hundred acres, it'll have an oil change. Because I'll be pouring so much fresh oil on it. Oh my lord. These steps are kind of challenging. Otherwise, you know, honestly, a lot of the drips it has seem to have gone away. So that's really nice. Hopefully, you know, I didn't ask them to heal themselves, but hopefully just with time and running, it does heal itself. Okay, so here's what we got. It's high guard. This is engine oil for my tractor, but I only need 9 gallons of it, so that leaves a gallon to go in the sprayer. One day I'll farm enough that I can just buy 55-gallon drums of oil. That's my dream. Oh, there we go. Well, that works good enough, eh? Look at this. I'm stuck. I am stuck. No, I'm not stuck. Needs antifreeze. See, there's nothing in there. Lovely. I'll be right back. Okay. See if we can do this without spilling. I freehanded it yesterday, so I should be able to hit a funnel, right? I love this farming stuff, though. Wouldn't be able to live without it. This is my clepidem. This goes in first. And we just dump that right in the tank. I spilled. Here's my 80 ounces. And I just dumped that in the tank. And now we go down and get the brawl. So this is clepidem. This kills the grasses. It kind of acts like Roundup. It doesn't act like Roundup. It's a replacement. It's my replacement for Roundup. Okay, now I need brawl. I need 6¼ gallons of brawl. So here's how I figure that out. So brawl is 16 ounces an acre, or 1 pint, and I'm spraying a 50-acre load, 750 gallons at 15 gallons of water per acre. So then I multiply this by 50. That gives me my total ounces. Divide that by 128. Okay, so now I have 6¼ So I take that 6¼ and I subtract, or that 6¼ is my gallons. And then to figure out the quarter, you just I subtract 5 and then minus the 1, because that's 1 gallon, 128 ounces, and multiply that by 128, and that gives me a quart. So I need 2 full jugs and 1½ jugs. So this is brawl. This is a residual. It kills grasses and broadleaves, and it leaves a residual. So when as they come up out of the ground, they die. It works really good. That's the only other drawback to Enlist, or using the Enlist system. Enlist doesn't have any residual in it, where dicamba does. So we end up using a residual anyway, or having to put a residual in. Alrighty. Get this mixed up. Pour it in nice and slow so it doesn't go out. This is it's like dual magnum, I believe, generic dual. Like every chemical in the marketplace, it started out as brand name dual, and then they come out with like these. They're cheaper and they replace dual. We're going straight, there's chemical coming out. That makes Taylor happy, because that means things are kind of working. Got the tank think, volume figured out on the Raven controller. So now I don't have to stop when I get to where I think I'm running out and check. But man, the weeds out here are just nuts. Wow. I can't believe how many weeds are out here. It's crazy. A lot of water now. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep on spraying on here. I'll let you know if anything exciting happens. And with that, the first pass of soybeans is done. The way some of it's looking, we might have to make a second pass later in the growing season. Just a lot of weeds out here. Should have been done a little while ago, but you live and you learn. Next year we'll probably use a pre-emerge. But I'm gonna get this folded up. I'm gonna get it back to the farm and we're gonna do a quick clean out on it. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to like and subscribe if you like what we're doing. We'll catch you in the next one.